Out of storage. Oh, this one won't be recorded. All right. Go. Intro. All right. Hello and welcome to another edition of Late to the Party News. I'm John, the creative blue collar guy. Joined with me tonight, as always, is my, gotta point the other way, opposite way, Bizarro dad, Roman of the Empire, who is currently suffering away in his garage, but he brought his musician's hat, which I appreciate. Roman, how you doing tonight?
I'm well. My balls are like hard-boiled eggs right now. It's good. It's good.
Nice.
It's good to know. It's, sometimes there's a little bit of too much information in there, but I wouldn't expect anything different from you. And yeah. And then we also have our favorite wizard from the Midwest, Blair to Blair, in his nice, cool, air-conditioned basement. How are you doing, Blair?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you.
And for the first time ever, other way, here we go. We have our friend Devon, who has been a longtime supporter of the channel, probably pretty much since day one. Our friend from the north, Devon, photographer extraordinaire. How are you doing tonight, buddy? Thank you so much for being here. We're stoked to have you.
Oh, yeah. First time caller, long time listener. I'm here to join and spread a little bit of the Canadian love. We all say hello from the great white north above you. So cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, buddy. And we're all stoked to have you.
Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday. Yeah, we all survived. I mean, Roman's retired, so whatever. But to the rest of us, we all survived. Let's see. So far, we have already got Lady Marine in the chat. Hello to you, Steph. Thank you for joining us. We've got Jana Banana. What's up to you as well? And let's see. Oh, that's Devon. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the wrong count. My bad.
And Blair. And all right. So, yeah.
Hey! Before we get rolling, young sir, we need to wish our good friend and wizard a happy birthday.
Forgive me again. I'm already a day late, but thank you for remembering Roman.
What a friend!
Try to raise him right.
Yeah, no, right? Really?
Fuck you in the eye.
Turn him into a frog or something. Honestly.
So happy birthday, good friend and wizard Blair to Blair. That's
happy birthday, buddy.
You're part of the club
buddy.
now. You are slightly younger than a mountain, but older than a hill.
Yeah. Right in that middle
unfortunately,
level.
I don't have any fun birthday clips for you because I only use the Bilbo birthday clip for Roman because Roman is 1,000 years old. But
yes, I'm a Virgo.
Cajun Corey jumping in the chat. What's up, brother? Good to see you.
Hey, Cajun.
He says, "Happy birthday,
Thank you, Corey.
Blair."
Thank you.
What is this sorcery you're talking about? We don't talk about we don't talk about signs and
everybody thought I was a Leo. No, I'm a Virgo.
I am the Leo. That's the
my family would agree.
I don't even know what it means.
What's that?
All I know is that I live in California and I don't care what my sign is, but that makes me the minority.
Wait, Devon, I thought your sign was A.
Oh yeah, sorry. But my family tells me I'm Cancer, so
That.
Well, yeah, sorry,
I can't disagree with them. Oh, sorry, you're stuck with me.
It's unkind.
Oh man, so we have got all sorts of fun topics to go over tonight. I don't even know where to start because so when I was kind of trying to brief Devon about how this typically goes, is it's like, well, somewhere between Friday to Sunday, I come up with a handful of topics we're going to talk about, and then somewhere around Monday afternoon, everything changes, and we come up with all sorts of new topics to talk about. Goodness, I don't know where to start. Like, I mean, Roman, I saw you're going to talk about The Crow on Thursday, so I almost don't want to step on your toes with that one.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not talking about The Crow on Thursday.
I have not.
Oh, I am talking about The Crow on Thursday. You're right. I'm sorry. I put that list together and I was a little drunk. So actually, I have no idea
John knows what you're doing
with your AI generated thumbnail.
Drunk Me does a really good job.
I have not seen it because at this point I'm very selective about what movies I go see in the theater. But everything I've seen on the internet since Thursday is that The Crow sucks.
Yeah.
Sammy Threepeat, one of our co-collaborators, did a great video on The Crow.
Yep.
It's about 10 minutes and it is so worth your time. So Sammy Threepeat, go check it out.
Vex did a good one.
He does a job on it.
It's worth your time, but apparently The Crow is not worth your time.
The Crow is not worth your time.
Yeah,
which I could have fucking told anybody.
This was one of the things I found, I think maybe on Thursday or Friday, was that they banned real guns after Brandon Lee's death. Okay, now hear me out. First of all, they say banned real guns. First of all, that's an inaccurate statement anyways. No movie set has a real gun on set, but they have guns that can fire blanks and whatever. And I can appreciate the sentiment that was tragic what happened to Brandon Lee during the filming of the original movie. They managed to pull it together and they managed to finish the movie. But as this article goes on, they talk about how they basically used like rubber decoys that like don't even have any firing mechanisms. So any kind of gunfire you see, anything is like all CGI. There's no actual like, oh, we had a blank, it sparked, it fired, it whatever. Like it's, and again, it's because of the Rust tragedy. Yes, that was also a tragedy, but it was due to massive oversight,
stupidity.
Of the people
that was
crew.
Super fucking negligence. Negligence does not equal tragedy. Negligence means you didn't do your fucking job. Also, I would argue, based on everything I've seen, because I will never see this fucking movie as I live. Maybe after death is
not even when it's free to stream.
We're playing
not
it at
even
your
when it's
funeral.
free. This isn't even like free time worthy. The gun thing is the least of this movie's fucking problems. It's literally everything else is the movie's fucking problem, starting with plot, casting, dynamic between the actors, costuming, the script. There is nothing about this movie that isn't bad. Although I will say, and please, this is in the non-sexual way, that Bill Skarsgård did get in really good shape for this movie, because usually he's kind of just this little wisp of a man.
Gangly.
But he did bulk up. His brother, the other Skarsgård brother. There are 7 Skarsgård brothers. No, the one who was in the Viking movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I forget.
Which fucking Skarsgård is that? Copa, help me. He's the one who was in Generation Kill. He's like the best Skarsgård brother.
True blood.
When you open the cookie box of Skarsgårds, he's the one that you want. So it's he's like
Alexander. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Alexander Skarsgård.
There you go.
Thank you.
I do like Bill Skarsgård. I really liked him as Pennywise in the new It movies. I think he's going to be fantastic as Count Orlok in Nosferatu. But and I think we talked about this last week, even him, like when they were interviewing him about his upcoming movies and they talked about The Crow, he was sort of like, I didn't really like the way they edited the ending and it kind of whatever. But then they're like, oh, let's talk about Nosferatu. And he like visibly lights up like, yeah, let's talk about that. He's like, let's talk about the
vampire movie. Did you guys happen to see I don't want to spoil it for anyone, although I think the movie already did that for them. I watched a couple all the way through reviews of it that talk about the end of this movie. Did you guys see those?
Yeah.
The Crow? No.
I haven't yet.
But no. I have.
Fuck!
I
what the
I already
fuck
very much have my theory.
Movie?
I know.
From the moment that I first watched the trailer for this reboot, right away my prediction, and again, I don't know because I haven't watched or read any spoilers, I haven't seen the movie, but right away when I watched the first trailer, I was like, they're gonna figure out a way to resurrect the girlfriend, and she's gonna come back and become the hero because you can't have the man be the hero anymore.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
Well-
the whole thing about the guns isn't even the big issue. It's like, honestly, like if you want to watch a gun movie, then watch like any of the John Wick movies.
Yes.
But if you want to watch,
Right.
like, if a movie's really good but they use fake guns, and who cares? Like,
Exactly.
as long as it looks good and it doesn't look like absolute trash, like that's the least of my worry.
Yeah.
Did I enjoy
Yeah.
the movie? Yes, then
exactly.
good.
And
I have not
he went
seen
after
one
everybody
positive
because
thing
they
about
killed
this.
his dog, which is fully justified.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, is there anything in the soundtrack for this movie? Do you remember the original Crow soundtrack?
I
That
just watched
soundtrack
it.
is fucking
I
killer.
don't
I just
feel like
rewatched it
movies
last
really-
night. I
The
just
Yeah,
rewatched
I don't feel like
the
movies
original,
really
the
have
good
iconic
one.
soundtracks anymore. Like there was even a time kind of when you got more into like the 2000s and stuff of like Queen of the Damned and stuff like that, where like the soundtracks were really like, the dark sort of new metal gothic stuff of the time. Now like soundtracks are just like a throwaway of like, whatever, you're just going to listen to this on Spotify. We don't care.
I don't think it has anything special like the first one did.
No.
Well, there's nothing special about this. Unfortunately, I feel bad for Bill Skarsgård because you're right. He is a good actor.
Yeah, I mean, he took it on. He signed the contract. He took it.
Look,
And didn't walk away, honestly.
Look, he may have just been like, maybe he's like me when drunk me makes up my weekly schedule. He's like, oh, this is a great idea, man. This is going to be fantastic. Then sober me looks at it like 4 days later going, what the fuck did I just do? And he's now stuck though. He signed the contract. He's like,
I'm sure he got paid.
I'm drunk
so.
me.
This is actual footage of Roman putting together his weekly stream.
Today is my 111th birthday. I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve.
Yes, that's not inaccurate.
That's Roman sitting in his kitchen like, oh, I'm talking about this on Thursday.
Just mumbling to himself. There's no one else actually there. It's just
No, there's really not. He's just talking to his dog. What do you think, Pip?
This is of the Empire from the side going, who are you talking to out there? No
The
one.
Roman Empire.
Someone.
And I totally forgot to ask because I usually have this at the top of my topics list. Roman, did you buy any records this week?
I don't think so.
God,
I know I failed this week. I didn't buy anything this week.
how do you know?
So,
I'm not gonna lie. It's been a bit of a rough week around the Empire. So my normal purchasing things have not been in place. I've not bought an action figure, nor have I bought any vinyl. Usually I buy two. That's not why. Sometimes 2 to 7 albums a week.
Normally about it was about 2 years ago, I think, give or take.
April
Roman
22,
blames
April 22.
She was like scratching. Roman blames me for getting him addicted to collecting records and vinyl and things of that sort. But as we've just discovered, he buys at least 1 to 2 a week typically. And that's probably more than I've bought this year. Yes, I enjoy collecting vinyl myself, but I'm not buying records every single week.
that beats my record of my entire lifetime. I'll be honest with you. I own 0 vinyls. And
What
I'm
am
apologetic about
I
it.
at now, John? I actually have no idea where I am. I'm at hang on, let the computer. How many albums do I have?
Oh boy.
I
Are you
have
looking at your Discogs right
450
now?
albums. 450 from April of 22 to current. I have 450 albums.
It's almost more than 1 per year for you at this point when you add up all the years.
Well, if you look at it from that perspective, yes. Over a 2-year period, it's kind of a lot, but over no, and I will never fucking physically own that movie, Corey. I will.
Aren't you doing a stream about that movie soon, though?
Yeah, September 12th.
We know it's your favorite
Joker,
movie in the whole world.
Joker strong armed me into that, so we're gonna be doing. That was my gift.
Oh, boy, you're getting called out here.
What? Well, if you'd done 30 years in the Corps, Lady Marine, maybe you would.
Shots fired.
I don't know.
Quite literally.
No. No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
I earned every dollar.
And you did. You absolutely did. So let's see. Do we want to talk about? We got the Foo Fighters. We got Snow White. We got Jack Daniels ditching their woke policies because they're about to be exposed for having all their DEI policies.
That's a
we
win.
have a
About
plethora of options.
Jack Daniels. We have Jack Daniels.
Let's do Jack Daniels.
Let's pull this one up first. So Jack Daniels renounces, quote, woke agenda, latest iconic U.S. brand to, quote, bring sanity back to business. Tennessee distiller preemptively announced it was ending woke programs, says Warrior, who targeted also Harley Davidson. Did not know that Harley was adopting all sorts of woke policies, which, like, read the room, guys. Read the room, read your audience. It's the same thing of like when Carhartt was saying that they were going to still, I don't know like what words I can use without getting shadow banned. But when Carhartt was like, oh, even though the federal government isn't requiring it, we're still going to require that all of our employees get the jab. It's like, really, Carhartt? Really? Like, do you know who your customer base is? Do you know who your audience is? Like, a lot of blue collar working guys that don't like all this mandate stuff. So Jack Daniels has taken a stiff shot of sanity after Warrior Against Woke Robbie Starbuck claimed on Wednesday night after telling Fox News Digital he had his sights set on another iconic American brand. Big news, the movie-making activist posted on, I'm going to say Twitter because screw you, X. The next company we were set to expose was Jack Daniels. Brown-Forman, the parent company of the Tennessee distiller, said preemptively announced, Starbuck wrote, that it was renouncing a series of diversity, equity, and inclusion and left-leaning initiatives. Among them, he wrote, are these: ending participation in the human rights campaigns, corporate equality index, social credit system, executive plus employee bonuses, and goals are tied to business performance, not DEI. What a concept. You actually base it on performance and not just DEI
madness.
Stuff. An end to quantitative workforce and supplier diversity ambitions, cutting woke trainings.
I'll drink to that, honestly. Like,
hey, cheers.
Yeah, that's good shit.
Now, are they just going to rebrand it and call it something else and do the same thing like a lot of places are going to do, or are they really cutting it?
You hope not, because they were very publicly exposed for this. The same thing with Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson actually took a beating on this.
How do you sell like the most common motorcycle brand, like probably literally
no, John, got little fella. Here's the problem. You got to remember, the people who are making policy, the retards in policy, I believe it's called the retard department, actually make these policies. According to whom? Canceled. Is that you? God damn it.
You should know this. You're in California.
I say retard all the time. Retard is like...
The feds are probably knocking on your garage door right now.
I would know if they were. I know if they were. So
like, this guy's garage is on fire. I don't know if we want to go in there.
I wouldn't go in here if I was anyone else.
As they're blocking the fire truck from getting to your house. Oh, I don't know what happened.
Going over there. Are not the users of the product. They are inserts who have never, they're like, hey, I'm going to go work for Harley Davidson. But to them, it doesn't have a meaning. It's just a job. These are HR freaking monkeys. That's what HR monkeys do. HR monkeys make HR monkey policy. And it doesn't matter what corporation they're into. They try to insert the same policy into every type of corporation that they're in. It's all the same. It's the same to them, regardless of the customer base, which isn't the same from company to company. So, anyway.
And the CEOs all go to the same type of schools. So they bring this stuff in because the boards want them to. And, the HR goes along with it because their HRs wanted it. And then suddenly you got a tractor supply company, Harley Davidson, Bud Light, Jack Daniels, stuff like that is suddenly ultra progressive. It's like, no, this is not your customer base. And
Right.
oh, surprise, they rebel and don't buy
Yeah.
your stuff anymore.
Oh,
There's a theory. I forget what they call it. Devon might remember. I don't know, but there's like some group or something, like some theory behind all of this stuff of like why the big major corporations go this way, and it's like they're all owned or operated by some special group, and it's like if you don't fall in line with BlackRock, yeah,
BlackRock,
like,
Blackstone.
if you don't fall in line with everything we tell you to do, we're gonna pull your funding and we're not gonna help you anymore. So you think like businesses like Jack Daniels and Harley and Target and whatever, you think like, oh, they just grew to be like a big conglomerate, whatever, and they do their own business. But it's like, no, it's like they have all this behind the scenes funding, and there are all these people like BlackRock and stuff saying it's like, if you don't do and say all the right things, we will pull your funding and your company will fold.
The government does that too, though. Like BlackRock absolutely does that as far as like their investments and stuff, but the government incentivizes it as well.
Yes.
Like depending on where you are as well, it's not just like a suggestion; it's required. I mean, you can look at the sets and stuff for Hollywood movies. Like they have specifics that you need to fill these quotas, or you're one, not going to get any awards, and two, they're not going to fund it.
Yeah, if you want to get government contracts, you have to adhere to certain criteria. As how many people are the makeup of your company, the makeup of your board, especially, is a big one now too.
That's why you have 2 astronauts stranded on the space station now. Thanks, Boeing. Nice job with your Starliner. Good diversity.
So like right here, we've got they're talking. This is talking about Jack Daniels. There's like all the DEI stuff that they're cutting. He says we're talking company drag shows. First and foremost, number one.
Thing?
What? Why?
Yes, exactly.
Why are you hosting company drag shows for people that work for Jack Daniels? Like, look, don't get me wrong. Maybe I don't like it. Maybe I don't agree with it. Maybe I'm not a fan of it. But it's like, if you are over the age of 18 and you choose to take your friends to go to Lips, go to a drag show, go whatever, that is your freedom to go do that. I don't need to go there. I don't need to be there. But like this thing of like this obsession with like pushing drag on everyone, like companies are doing it, Disney is doing it, they're trying to make it like bring your kids, make it family friendly, make it whatever. Like there's a clip from The View where Whoopi Goldberg went on this tirade where she's like, I'm not going to have somebody tell me that I can't go to a drag show. It's like, no one is telling you as a grown-ass woman that you can't go to a drag show. You are an adult. You can consent to go to a drag show. Fine. All we're saying is maybe, just maybe, leave the kids out of it. And somehow that just made everybody's brains explode. And now it's like everything is drag show, drag show, drag show. Like, why are we so obsessed with drag queens all of a sudden? Like
it makes no sense to me either. Like for me personally, I don't understand why people would want to go to like the strippers. Like morals aside, like you can't touch whatever else. Like there's so many other things. But then you throw on top of that, first of all, it's a dude that's dressed up like a woman. Like we're allowed to say that's weird, man. Like that's
absolutely.
That's out there. You like whatever you want, whatever. Okay, cool. But like, why? Why though?
They're a fraction of a fraction.
Yeah.
And yet somehow the companies are catering to that. If you're a tractor company or Jack Daniels, it's like, why
did this pick up traction all of a sudden? Like, they're so popular for no reason.
Are they like big Jack Daniels drinkers? I mean,
maybe after a few shots or something, they start looking pretty. But like,
that's what I'm thinking. That's
I'm pretty sure
that's
Jack
the first
Daniels
problem. Thinking
don't want to go to a drag show, but it says here they're like, we're talking company drag shows, promoting every single possible conceivable sexual identity, things that totally did not align with their customer base. So it's like, oh wow. Major epiphany here. Like you figured out what your customer base was and realized like these people don't want all this weird stuff that you're pushing. And he added it was an incredibly smart move for them to get ahead on this before it was in the media for 3 weeks. So they only did this because they were about to be exposed by I think Roman, you said it. Let It's like we launched our diversity and inclusion strategy in 2019. Brown-Forman's executive leadership team wrote in its Wednesday letter to employees.
2019.
And since then, the world has evolved. Our business has changed, and the legal and external landscape has shifted dramatically, particularly within the United States. You don't say.
How much money do they sink into their, like, you know, understanding, like, marketing and stuff like that? Like, you should, like, that's the first step, is understand who you're selling to.
Yeah, exactly.
Understand your audience. Read the room.
They don't care. Devon, no.
I know they don't care, but, like, that should be.
DEI has literally zero to do with your.
Well, they're like, oh, the world's changed. It's like, has it though? Like, no, really.
They don't care. If they blah 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 blah, we're gonna force our bullshit on you. That's what that meant.
Yeah. Hey. Hello, Jacob. Thank you for joining us, brother. Good to see you. Yeah, it amazes me. The more, like, if the Bud Light thing didn't teach anyone anything, Bud Light is one of the biggest beer manufacturers, I would say, probably in the world. Like, I mean, maybe I'm overstating that a little bit or something, but they literally felt the pain of that boycott. And I'm not usually one to be all like, I'm gonna go out and like have my sign and picket and protest, and I'm gonna post all over whatever stuff. But it's like what Bud Light did was like a year or two ago. They very much felt the effects of that. And it's like, if other big companies and big corporations are not recognizing that, it's like people are getting fed up with this stuff. Like, hey, Shield Wall, cheers, buddy. Yeah, like it's like we're like slowly sending the message that it's like no company is too big to fall. Like, you do something dumb enough, people are going to be like, we're done.
And we're not going to pick it. We're not going to throw a fit. You know what? We're just not going to buy your shit.
No,
we're going to quietly not give you our money, and you're going to feel it in your wallet.
Is the worst one, because all of a sudden people just don't buy your stuff, and you can't bitch out. They try to complain, scream at you, saying, "Why aren't you buying our stuff, bigots?" Yeah, if you're like, whatever.
Which that's another topic that Devon and I have talked quite a bit about. Of like, we're not going to go and like protest and like support, but it's like if enough people just quietly don't give their money, it's like they still feel the effects of that.
Yeah. And they lose their minds too, because they got nobody to blame, and they come off even crazier. And they put off even more people. So it's like a snowballing, was it the Streisand effect? The more attention they're trying to bring to it, the worse it gets for them.
They start blaming the customers, and then it just makes it worse.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, well, hell no, I'm not going to buy your stuff now. Forget it,
Like, you just made it even worse. Right. Like, instead of coming out and like apologizing for what they did, it's like, no, when you double down, it's like, no, sorry. You guys are just making it
now we're
worse.
really out on you.
Yeah, like you and I were talking about, John, like, I'm not going to go out and protest or whatever else, but if you're going to be a trash company, and if I actually think that boycotting you is going to work, then no, I'm going to stop buying whatever it is that you're selling. Like, that's kind of a hard thing to do, because like just one person stopping buying something, you're not going to make that much of an effect. But like when there are like groups of people getting together, like, nah, not having a Budweiser, and then that becomes a stigma too. Like we had a company barbecue, and Bud Lights didn't get drank. Everything else got drank. Why? Because everyone was like, I'm not drinking that garbage. No, sorry. And then from there on, it just kind of spirals out of control, or not out of control, but it just makes it worse for them. So
what happens is, because you have like old protests, people throw a fit. Okay, fine. People can weather it out.
Yeah.
But when you do a change where brand loyalty is gone, and you actually change the buying habit, then you're screwed. Bud Light is not going to be coming back.
No.
Now other beers have gotten a chance to take over, and people are just going to start buying those until they do something stupid.
Yeah, so Modelo is the happiest company in the world.
Yes,
because of Bud Light.
They should send them Christmas card. They should give them a bonus for thanks, Bud Light.
You guys did a good job.
Especially when it becomes a meme too. Like Everyone was just like, "Oh, you're drinking Bud Light, gay." Like, sorry. As soon as that became a meme, it was over. Exactly.
You see you're gay without saying you're gay, you know.
Yeah. When it makes it into like mainstream and everyone thinks it's funny, then it's really an issue. Like to the people like us that actually semi pay attention to the news, we're like, oh, these things are happening. You know, most people don't see the stuff that we see because we're paying attention. But as soon as it makes it out there and becomes a meme and everyone's laughing at them, then it's bad news.
Yes.
So, and I've joked about that a lot too. When it talks like I spend my day kind of, you know, looking through different news articles and headlines and coming up with stuff to talk about the show. But also, like, if there's ever a story that I've missed, after I go maybe about like 24 to 48 hours of, if I see a meme enough times that I haven't heard like what the actual backstory is, then it's like, well, I haven't heard about whatever this is, so I need to research this and look it up. And sure enough, it usually becomes a topic on Mondays or Wednesdays. Because it becomes this thing of like, if you miss it in the actual headlines, it will become a meme, and it's going to be like, oh, well, if something's a meme, now it's probably important enough for me to look at like, okay, let me do a quick search and see what's really going on here, you know.
Oh my God, they're making a space ball.
Did more action figures fall over?
Wait, what's happening?
Oh, Spaceballs 2? Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's not good. So I'm trying to pull up stuff that Roman sent me a couple tweets, like in text messages, but I can't share them from text messages over.
I'm trying to find them. Be involved in that. It's going to suck.
Yeah. Well, so I talked to some people, and they're like, "Oh, like Mel Brooks is still going to be involved. It'll still be good." Mel Brooks is like in his 90s. He's barely signed on as like maybe a producer. Josh Gad is basically like writer director, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's not going to have the humor.
It's not going to be good.
It's not going to be Mel Brooks. Didn't they do
his name's going to be
on
it? That's it.
Didn't they do History World Part 3 or something? It was so bad nobody even talked.
It was Part 2, and no one acknowledges it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Part 2 of what?
You remember
History of the World, but yeah.
Yeah, they came out with another one, and it was just so bad nobody even. It's like memory hold.
Nobody bothered.
So hard. Yeah, nobody even cared. It's gonna suck. Yeah. Yep.
Everything they make nowadays, they don't make it.
Oh, perfect! There it is.
They don't make anything like original anymore.
I know.
No,
everything's a remake, and it's not even a good one. It's like The Crow, like okay, trash. I mean, even like it's not that you can't make sequels to things, but make sequels to things that are new. Like when you're going back, and you're like, oh, this thing existed
25 years old.
Exactly, this thing existed 20 years ago. Let's make a new one.
Yeah,
no,
maybe.
Stop. Or the next one to it.
Or that, like they're doing another Terminator.
Oh Lord! So I saved this. I saved the screenshot on my phone, so I can't get it from my phone to my computer fast enough. Whatever, so I'll just read it. But the all female reboot of Fight Club.
Oh no!
Fight Club, originally starring Brad Pitt and Edward
Norton.
Is moving forward at Fox with Greta Gerwig set to direct, which if you don't know, she's the one that was behind the Barbie movie, with Margot Robbie and Charlize Theron in talks to star. I'm like, okay, a Fight Club remake with an all-woman cast and all-woman production team. Like, are they going to sit around and talk about their feelings because violence is bad? Like, how do you even do that in the current climate of Hollywood and everything else, all the nonsense that's going on? Like, you're going to have the director that made the Barbie movie, the lead actors that starred in the Barbie movie, you're going to make a Fight Club remake. They're not really going to fight because they're going to be like, oh, we're going to talk about our feelings because violence is bad.
That's rule number one is they can't talk about their feelings.
That's right. That's right.
Should be.
They're going to have the two boxers from the Olympics show up. They'll be in this movie. It'll be Butch Dykes. Trans.
You know, I was originally going to say the way that we combat this reboot is to just not talk about it, but yeah, first rule of Emotional Club is don't talk about Emotion Club. So
Cat Fight Club.
Nice.
And when the movie fails, and it will,
Oh,
what are they going to blame?
it will be called Cat.
Misogyny.
Men didn't want to see
White
the
men?
movie. Well, no shit, because
Especially those
Fight
old
Club-
retired guys that have tons of money to buy vinyls. They're the worst.
we are.
No, that ain't gonna happen. No.
So
The only
If
way
any of
people
you-
are going to watch it, Corey.
have you guys read the Chuck Palahniuk novel Fight Club?
No.
No.
I have not read the
What
book,
Fight
no.
Club was,
But I
I
at least
can't read.
know that it's based off a novel. Like there's a set amount of source material that is in place that
Well, and
you're not supposed
it's
to
very
mess with.
very ripped from the novel kind of stuff. You maybe get a little bit more because you always get a little bit more in the novel, but it's a movie about men. It is very much a man-focused movie because women don't have
How
these
dare
same-
you toxic
Well,
male!
That's why they're
Women
doing
can
this,
watch
Roman.
fights too, Roman.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? Freaking throw douches at each other or female hygiene products? I don't know what women do in their private time. That's what this is about men. This is about men and their private thoughts. That's what the whole focus of Fight Club is. I don't know what women think about. I don't care what women think about, frankly. It's really not my problem.
They're gonna complain about men. That's what they're gonna do.
That's a
what's gonna
long
happen.
movie. That's a long
It's all
movie.
gonna
And
be
it's
about-
unnecessary.
Women
Hey,
empowerment,
this
beating up
is,
the men to beat them up, and yeah.
This is why Devon and I have no idea what's going on.
And you know what the worst part of all is? I never learned to read.
True fact.
If it came from a comic or something along those lines, that makes Fight Club a live action anime, and so
They did
gladly
do.
talk
They
about
did
it.
do. They did do a Fight Club comic. Comic. I don't
Words
know
are
what it
hard.
is. Don't touch it.
They
Whatever
are
it is.
hard.
don't
It's
touch
Monday.
Colonic? Is that the flush of the corn?
it. It may be actually. Fuck.
God,
So
really,
what should
whatever.
we? What do we got?
Go
next?
back
We
to
can
the
talk about
point
Foo
real quick.
Fighters. Yeah,
Go back to the point of Fight Club, though. Like, stop taking things that aren't designed for the specific audiences, like, and trying to just, you're taking a square peg and shoving it in the round hole and being like, why doesn't it fit? Why don't people like it?
Uh-huh.
It's just like, okay, because that's not what it was designed for. That's not who the target audience was. Why are you trying to? I mean, it goes back to Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
You would think
Yeah.
they've learned that by now.
Well,
Well, and it's funny to see too. Like you could go as far back as well. Could probably go even farther back. But when the Black Widow movie came out, the MCU, and the directors, producers, lead actresses, everybody, they're all like, oh, if you're a straight white man, this movie isn't for you. And then straight white men didn't go see Black Widow in theaters, and then they're like, oh, the movie failed because of straight white black men or straight white men. It's like, well, hold on a second. Like, you told us this movie wasn't for us, so we didn't
I
go
liked
see
it,
it.
actually. I'll
And
be
now
honest.
it
What?
failed.
I did.
They
because
literally
whatever.
did that.
And then
Charlie's
then
Angels,
what
remember?
else? What else
Oh,
was
yeah.
there? There
Yeah,
was
yeah.
the
Remember Charlie's Angels.
most recently the Acolyte and other things. Like, there's all this stuff that Disney, Star Wars, and Disney Marvel puts out where they very blatantly come out and they basically tell all four of us, you're straight white men. This isn't made for you. I'm like, okay, fine. So we don't watch it. We don't go see it. And then they're like, it failed because of you. And it's like, well, you said it wasn't for us, so I'm not going to go spend my time or my money or
Ghostbusters 2016.
whatever. Like, Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Toxicity. It's all toxic.
Oh, that toxic male fandom.
How dare we not show up to the thing they told us not to show up to?
I know.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
How dare
Bigots.
we not show up when you told us this isn't for you? I think Jacob has the most disturbing comment of the night so far, though.
No, I don't. He's not inaccurate though. They were also pretty much the only boobs in the movie. I mean, you had Helen Bonham Carter, but that's not much in the way.
That was
of
fake. It was all CGI.
No.
And they were very
That's
blurry.
just,
They were very blurry boobs.
yeah, it's like, okay, your turn. You cry.
God.
Oh, goodness gracious. Let's talk about the Foo Fighters. What about that?
Yeah.
Talking of
Roman's favorite
men
band.
crying.
They're all
Talking
fuckface.
of men
shithead.
crying.
Roman or Dave?
Dave.
Oh, okay.
I hate Dave
And
Grohl
then
so much.
I love
my
5 Times
song to a
August.
whole bunch of people.
And I took that personally.
So you will very routinely hear me say on this weekly live stream that while all of us on this panel have our different beliefs and convictions and things that we think are important and stuff, me personally, I'm not here to tell anyone how to vote. I believe that us having the freedom to vote for who you want to vote for, even if I might disagree with you, vote for who you want to vote for. So I'm not here to tell anyone how to vote, but I think it's absolutely hilarious when different celebrities and artists and musicians and Hollywood people and stuff, and like they're virtue signaling and all this stupid crap that they do. So if you're not already aware, Donald Trump used the Foo Fighters song My Hero when he introduced Robert F. Kennedy Jr., bringing him out on stage to say the two are joining forces to try to do whatever they can humanly possibly do to take down Kamala Harris. Because, again, I'm not telling you how to vote, but let's just look at the facts and say that we can't really afford 4 years of Kamala in charge. So there's that. But let's look at another one. This isn't even the article, but whatever, we'll get into it.
I feel like they have to come out and say that, even if they could like care less, they have to like have the credit and say, "Oh no, don't do that." Be
So the Foo Fighters say they did not allow Donald Trump to use My Hero at rally. Will donate any royalties to the Harris campaign. I did not pull this article up on my screen, but whatever. It was another thing that Roman sent me via text, trying to get everything translate and pull up on screen. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The Trump campaign comes back and maintains that they did, in fact, license the song through BMI, which is a record label that owns the royalties to the song. So
I sent you that on Twitter, by the way.
Me, myself, being a musician, I actually was kind of curious about, oh, gee, I wonder how that works, because the musician themselves, who, like, Dave Grohl wrote the song, and Dave Grohl can say, we don't support this, we don't whatever, but it's like, but at the end of the day, the record label owns the song. So if they paid the fee and they licensed it through BMI, through the label, they had legal usage of the song. But then he's got to come out and virtue signal, and we didn't support this, we didn't approve this, we blah, 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 whatever. And
nobody asked you because you don't know.
But because that's the thing, they have to virtue signal. They have to say, oh, we didn't approve this, we don't like this. But it's like, well, I don't really think you have any say. So here we go. Just got this. Do this. Hold on. Bear with me for a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. Weather's been really hot lately. And there we go.
Especially in Roman's garage.
Falsely claimed Trump used their My Hero song to introduce RFK Jr. without permission.
Again, I said this earlier,
brilliant.
But like,
I love that.
Oh man, I can't believe they lied for clout. Oh, no way.
I know, right? Really, shocker.
And the best part is the retards are no one else is going to know, because the first thing came out. The first thing came out is what people remember. They're not going to remember that. Yeah, they actually did have the licensing for that song. So unfortunately.
And on top of that as well, is if they actually used it without permission, like there's not going to be any royalties. They're going to get sued for that. And that's why they were like, oh, any of the proceeds we get from suing them or whatever is going to go towards this. They're like, no, the royalties off of it. Why? Because they legally were allowed to use it. They just didn't tell you that part.
Yeah. So they're not actually going to sue. And if they did, they'd lose because they don't. That's what happens when you have a big record company. They own your music unless you buy it back.
Right.
Yeah. In a post from Wu-Tang is for the children. That's weird.
I don't know what that
means. The
means.
Foo Fighters were asked, did you let Trump use My Hero to welcome RFK Jr. on stage? A response came back, no, and was then followed up with the post of the band saying, let us be clear. And there's a Twitter post. The Independent, however, reviewed documents appearing to confirm that the HTE campaign had indeed licensed the song from BMI's Songview service. A campaign spokesperson told the outlet that we have a license to play the song. It's times like these It's times like these facts matter. Don't be a pretender. Ha! I see what they did there. Said Trump campaign spokesperson Stephen Shuang on Twitter, tagging Foo. Yeah. So here we go. Trump campaign insists it had the rights to use Foo Fighters song despite backlash. And wearing the Raiders shirt that says Breeders. Really? What? Like, first of all, it says it's the Raiders logo. Get out of here with that. Two, Breeders, really? Like, aren't the people on the left against Breeders? Aren't you all about like sterilizing everybody and like?
Well, God knows they tried at their convention.
Like, food truck vasectomies. For their part, Foo Fighters told the Independent Foo Fighters were not asked permission, and if they were, they would not have granted it. The band went on to say that, quote, appropriate actions are being taken against the campaign and that Foo Fighters will donate royalties made from the campaign's use of the song to Trump's opponent, Kamala Harris.
Lie.
Many on X launched their own backlash against Foo Fighters. The band led by Dave Grohl, the band also faced backlash for requiring that their concert goers all get the jab before allowing them to enter venues where the band is playing. Political commentator and musician Tim Pool, asked, "Hey, Foo Fighters, why are you lying?" before saying, "Just for that, I'm going to cover Everlong." I want to see Tim Pool cover Everlong.
I love Tim Pool. He's awesome.
So yeah, that's that. Like they're just up here being like, we didn't give permission, we didn't whatever, and it's like I don't think it's up to you. I think if they license it through the record label, tough cookies there, buddy. Because in my side hustle, in terms of what I do outside of my regular full-time job, is playing music and cover songs and stuff. I have lost a handful of gigs of places that in the great state of California, if the business I am performing at does not have what they call a cabaret license to have live music, I wind up losing a gig because they're not paying into the licenses and the permits to have live music. However, I could go on and I could purchase a license from BMI, through Warner, through Universal, through whatever, but I would have to look at my set list of songs that I want to play whenever I play any of these venues, and anything I want to play, I would have to buy a license from every record label that owns those songs. But as soon as I buy into the license, I am free to play any of those songs. So I could play My Hero or Everlong or whatever if I bought a BMI license, and Dave Grohl could tell me I don't approve this, and I could be like, you can suck it because I bought the license. But that's just me as an individual, just me and my guitar playing cover songs and whatever stuff. But here, according to the Trump campaign, they bought the license through EMI, and they're over here trying to virtue signal, we didn't approve this. And it's like, well, they bought it through your record label, so I don't think there's much you can say.
Yeah, pretty much. You can't revoke, you guys gave permission. You can't revoke that permission. I mean, that's not how that works.
The record label owns it. They bought the license through the label.
It has nothing to do with the band at that point. Zero.
Exactly.
But yeah, they got a virtual signal. So no.
Yeah, it doesn't cost them anything to, like you said, virtue signal or just like lie for clout. I mean, because the people that were going to do it anyways or that are going to love them anyways are still going to love them, and everyone else.
Dave Grohl's the best. He's amazing. I love how he made his drummer take.
I love his hair.
Then he died of myocarditis. That was the best. Allegedly.
Would it be nice if one of these bands who got to the point where, like, okay, we've made our money. We're basically going to be a touring band because anything new we do really isn't going to sell. Because after a certain point, your new music doesn't sell. It's, you're doing the tours on your old stuff and making cash. Just say, yeah, go ahead and use it, man.
Hey, what was the Foo Fighters' last album?
Yeah, I don't know.
No one.
Yes.
Yeah.
No one does. No one knows what their last album was. Maybe their last two albums.
It's Rage for the Machine. That's what it is.
Yeah, right.
100%, absolutely, 100%. So in that same realm of talking about, like, once bands reach a certain threshold, nobody wants to hear your new music anymore. And I will unashamedly announce that over this past weekend, I went and saw Limp Bizkit live and in concert, reliving my youth and
Was Corey Feldman
they have continued to release newer albums throughout the years, but they knew their audience and they kept it to their first 3 albums and played all the hits and all the stuff that everybody expected them to play. They opened and closed their set with the same song, which was Break Stuff, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. You'll never see a band open and close their set with the same song, and I thought it was hilarious, and it just like drove home the point that they're just sort of like they've become a caricature of like a meme of themselves of like, we're Limp Bizkit, like the show's sold out, everyone's here to see us, we're just gonna laugh at ourselves. And like you played the same song at the beginning and end of your set. I'm not mad at it. It was kind of hilarious. But they kept it to the first 3 albums, the only albums that anyone cares about, all the hits. They've released other albums since then, but they're like, we're gonna read the room, we know the audience, we know what people came here to see. But Fred Durst is definitely looking like Father Christmas right now. No, I definitely did not go to see Corey Feldman.
Was he there?
Drove up. He was there. He was there.
Did you watch him?
But
did you watch him?
God no. God no. No.
Oh,
so all of the videos I'd seen of Corey Feldman of him opening the show, it was still daylight out, so like the sun was still up. Where the show was about a 2-hour drive away. Tickets were super cheap, don't get me wrong. Got a hotel for the night. So drove up, checked into the hotel, hung out, had a drink, went and got dinner, went to the show, tailgated in the parking lot of the venue, and then we're like, okay, I think Limp Bizkit's about to take the stage. Now let's go in. I was not about to go and watch Corey Feldman and then sit through like 3 or 4 acts of just loud, obnoxious hip-hop, bass rattling my eardrums, incoherent, everything song sounds the same. Like, no, couldn't do it. But I was there for Limp Bizkit. It was the same night as my high school 20-year reunion. I chose to go to the concert instead of the high school reunion, but I was still reliving my youth no matter what.
The important parts.
Like, anyone that I went to high school with, it's like, if we want to talk, we got social media, we got each other's phone numbers. Like, I don't need to go to a reunion. Like, I'm going to go to a concert. I'm going to go have a good time. Oh, why weren't you there? I'm like, I went and had more fun doing something else.
I don't know those people. I don't care. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like, haven't seen you since the last reunion. Haven't seen you since graduation. Whatever. I don't care.
Who are you again?
Exactly. But yeah, this tweet that I pulled up here, it's like, new Foo Fighters lied about Trump not having permission to use My Hero while introducing RFK Jr. Trump should sue these leftist hacks for defamation. The Trump campaign actually did license the song through BMI's Songview service, as confirmed by documents provided by The Independent, which I feel is usually kind of more of a left-leaning publication. I'm surprised.
Well, I mean, it's easily verifiable, though. It's not something you've got to do a whole lot of
The Foo Fighters said they will be taking action against the campaign, and any proceeds will be donated to the Harris campaign. Virtue signaling pieces of crap. And let's just talk about that for a second. I can understand people that don't like Trump. Don't get me wrong. I get it. He's not exactly a person of high moral, upstanding character, whatever stuff. But like anyone now who is immediately shilling for Kamala, we talked about this last week with Nick Offerman, who unfortunately played the Ron Swanson character in Parks and Rec. The character was hilarious because the character hated the government. He hated big government. Well, apparently Nick Offerman is not like his character. But like anyone who is like shilling for the Harris campaign right now, like you can't honestly believe that this is the right thing to do. I can understand if you don't like Trump. I get it. You don't like Trump, fine. But this is the person who literally had like a negative 8% approval rating 4 years ago. And now all of a sudden she's the savior of the world of like, she's the best thing ever. We all need to support Kamala and we need to whatever. And it's just like, no, like none of you wanted her 4 years ago. 4 years ago, she was like, no, like you dropped off still in 2019 because your approval ratings are so low. And now we're all supposed to be like, you're going to fix everything that you're messed up. Like, why don't you fix it right now?
That she's not fixing it.
They could put a shaved gibbon in as the presidential spot for the D's right now, And if that were who they were running, they would support Shaved Gibbon. Shaved Gibbon would be their number one Gibbon. Shaved Gibbon doesn't require any votes. Shaved Gibbon is the best Gibbon ever. They don't care. They're mindless automatons. It's the insect hive tells you what to do, and the hive does it. That's all it is.
John Fetterman. Like the guy's had a stroke. Yeah, exactly. Like that's not his fault at all. But I mean, that's just to go and prove your point. Like the guy was like, not meant to.
Like if this guy is not capable of forming a sentence, or because they made the whole thing about he's like wearing like sweatpants and hoodies and whatever stuff. It's like maybe we need to reissue some sort of dress code to people that like show up to office.
That got brought up.
Like, well, we need to be sensitive to somebody who's still recovering from having a stroke. And it's like, if he's still recovering from a stroke to the point that he needs to wear sweatpants to work, he probably shouldn't have been elected.
Funny thing.
Maybe it's just.
You're being too tough on Kamala, though. I mean, she got voted in the primary, so. That was a joke, Roman.
I mean, maybe if she got down on her knees,
no, that was her past life. She doesn't do that anymore.
Just gave Roman
ask Willie Brown.
Exactly.
A nightmare situation we're in.
The thing with like the Foo Fighters thing that makes me laugh the most, because it's reflected on everything, and I think you and I were talking about this, John. It's like, why do they lie so much when they're clearly provable? Like, all they had to do was show the paperwork saying, hey, look, we actually did license this music for it. Like, stop lying about things that are easily provable. I mean, granted, the people that are voting for you guys aren't paying attention anyways, and also don't care if you lie to them. But like, the 3% of people that are in the middle that semi pay attention, maybe we'll find out that you guys are just blatantly lying consistently.
But as I've been saying this whole time, again, my disclaimer, I'm not telling anyone how you have to vote, but like the TDS, the Trump derangement syndrome, is so extreme with people now that they're like, we need a big boogeyman to go after. Trump is the boogeyman, and we're going to call him every mean name in the book that I can't say here because it'll get my channel continually shadow banned, which normally in previous weeks we've had way more people watching on Twitter. Tonight we've only got about 5 watching, so maybe I'm already shadow banned. I don't know. Whatever. I'm still going to say what I got to say.
It's Roman's fault for saying retard so much.
Probably. But it's one of those things where people are dumb, and people are just going to believe the lie of he's an ist, a phobe, a that, a blah, 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 blah. He's whatever. He's the big boogeyman that we need to go after. And Kamala is basically running on the platform of orange mad bad, and we're going to let you kill your babies. That's it. That's all they have. It's the reproductive rights and Trump bad. That's all they have. And unfortunately,
did you just use those fucking words? What happened to you? Did you go to the vasectomy ban?
Unfortunately, there are a lot of people in our country
actually
that they are fully going to hinge the entire fate of our country for the next 4 years based off of those two things.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, even to the point where they're saying that she shouldn't release any of her policies until after she gets voted in.
She's elected. Like, what the really? Okay,
democracy,
seriously?
Ladies and gentlemen, democracy.
Yeah, right. Really.
You seen? I
It'll
don't
be a
have
surprise
any of the videos
when she
pulled up.
does.
I wish I had at least one of the videos pulled up. But have you guys seen the videos lately of people going to the DNC and like asking people? They're like, "What are some of your like favorite policies of Harris?" And they're like, oh, that's really tough. All of them? All of them? Really? Because they know they can't answer the question, but they're trying to not sound stupid. And they come out sounding more stupid.
My favorite one was to become president.
I saw that one. Like, that's her policy. Your favorite policy is for her to become president. Good
Perfect.
job. All right.
It's
amazing.
actually the most truthful one. Yes.
Yeah,
that's about all they've got, honestly.
Yeah, that's it. Literally, once we get in, it's like that old thing. We had to sign it in before we could read it and understand it. Remember that one?
Yeah, that was the fucking stupid healthcare bill.
Was that the one Nancy Pelosi was talking about? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pelosi was exactly the one that she was talking about.
We need to get her in
She's
office.
a lovely lady.
Before we can find out what she's about. Yeah.
Oh man.
Jesus.
You guys got to stop, or Canada's going to start taking notes, and we're already bad enough. So.
Yeah, you don't need any help.
No.
Your elections, I don't even understand your elections, dude. Your elections are like way weirder than ours are, and ours are just terrible. But yours, I don't get at all because it's like Trudeau got like 7% of the vote, but he still gets to be the prime minister or whatever the fuck. Because you have like 17 parties or whatever. It's that parliamentary bullshit, which I really don't get.
It's so frustrating because like that was part of the issue was a bunch of people voted for like another right-wing party, and so the vote got split between the two right-wing parties, and so it doesn't actually count for anything, unfortunately.
Or my favorite is snap election. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, how? Okay, I don't even understand that one. It's like, how could you just do that? What? Crazy.
We're having an election now, and I win. Yay! That would. Yeah.
Well, he was trying to go for a majority and then just kind of got slapped back into place. Although I'm amazed that he still got, a minority. Although his polling hasn't been doing too great. So
the party that says, democracy is on the ballot and it's more important than ever are the ones that literally shoehorned a candidate in here without a single vote. And nobody choosing her, nobody wanting her. And it's like, oh, democracy is on the ballot. Like, really? Really?
Is it really?
When can we put a constitutional republic on the ballot? That one is what I'm looking forward to.
That would be funny. That would be funny. That would be the.
That's what the Republicans should start, talking about.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah. Are you dying because of the heat or dying because of the politics, Roman?
A little bit of both. Little bit of both. I'm actually gonna have to bail.
A little from column A, a little from column B.
Even without the heat, I'm going to have to head out soon, though. Just
and I think
my promised hour is expiring with the Misses of the Empire.
I think we've about hit our hour. I know I got to figure out dinner for the night, and then whatever else everyone else has going on tonight. Tacos. But
I got the dog right here. Is wanting to go out. So.
Okay, what are Canadian tacos though? Like, is it just like poutine and like a tortilla? And like,
that sounds delightful.
Actually, no, my wife is making them or made them, and she's Southern, so I'll give her that.
Oh,
Southern Canadian,
Southern American. She's from North Carolina. I'm technically Southern Canadian, so
yeah, Southern, as in North Carolina is Southern.
Yeah. Ontario is not Southern, although it's Southern Canada.
Okay. We'll go and do our usual exit. Roman, what do you have going on this week? Barring that you will make it to your Thursday live stream.
Yes, provided. So the show will go on even if I'm not there. Free range Roman of the Empire this week. That is our pop culture news show. Always Thursday at 5 Pacific Standard. This week, our special guest is Aaron C., creator of Immortal Rising Comics, plus all of our pop culture topics.
All right. Cool. And Blair, are you hopping on with anyone else this week, or what do you got going on?
Not this week, but I'll definitely be there for the Roman Spectacular. The Fifth Element reviewing.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I need to be on for that one too. Just because I think I've only seen the movie maybe once, but I know how much Roman
I don't want to be on for that
movie, so I just have to be there to troll you the entire time. Are you gonna wear the leopard print
and the little curl thing helmet?
No.
You gotta do that.
I just want to go and watch Roman suffer. Honestly, that's going to be my enjoyment.
Me too.
And stir the pot in the comments.
Really,
enjoyment from week to week.
Stick the knife in.
Really hates the Fifth Element.
What about the Sixth Element? fan?
That's better. That's a far better.
Okay, perfect.
So what's funny too is at the Disneyland parks, they have recently changed their what they call like the fast pass lane, whatever, like for the rides and stuff, is now called multi-pass.
That's 12.
Multi-pass.
That's awesome.
So every time you get to go to the front of the line, multi-pass.
Which I will never have to worry about. So it's not a big concern for me, but it's irritating that it exists.
What he's going to wear is a little crop top tank with the orange strappy things around his body.
No one wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see that.
Please don't put that image in my mind.
He may or may not be wearing pants right now because it is really hot in the
garage. I'm not wearing pants. Not wearing pants.
And then our first time new, hopefully regular recurring guest, Devon. I don't know if you have anything else going on this week. Probably no other things.
Yeah, I'm just so busy this week, with all the live streams I attend. I mean, I've got a bunch of pictures from the zoo that I've got to edit. And other than that, that's pretty much about it.
Yes, and also Devon is definitely the photographer extraordinaire. So that is one of the reasons we love him. That and all of the white hot memes that he sends throughout the week, as well as our various conversations that we have. But yeah, like I said, we've just about reached our hour mark here, so I think we're going to go ahead and cut it off. But thank you to Jacob, Shieldwall, Lady Marine, Cajun Corey. I think in the very beginning we had Jana Banana.
Copa.
So, Copa. Yes, Copa was in there. Quickly going through here, making sure I didn't forget anybody. Anyways, thank you guys all so much for joining this week's edition of Late to the Party News. And we will see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your week. Cheers.
Be excellent to each other.
This has been Late to the Party News. Make sure to like and share this video for others to see. Subscribe to the channel and set notifications to all so you get notified every time we go live or post a new video. Thanks and good night.